Okay, good morning. All right, so the thing I want to talk to you guys today about is Yelp. Okay, so and the reason I'm going to explain to you why we're going to talk about Yelp first, and then how we're going to try to improve our Yelp score. Right now, currently, if you look us up through Google, and, we basically have 4.5 stars. That's a pretty good number. We want to try to be, 4.5 to 5 would be great. But being 5 is not always, the only way to go, because it depends on how many reviews you get, right? The more reviews you have, and the closer you are to 5, the more reputable you are. On Friday, I had a meeting with an hour-and-a-half video conference call with our new marketing company that we're spending all this money on, trying to get the new website built up and all that. And basically, they kind of came to me and said, hey, we really need to work on, in the meantime, the next few weeks that until the site gets up, until we start doing the marketing, spending all of this extra money. Because we basically are planning on spending, just so you guys know, in excess of $20,000 a month in marketing, which is a pretty heavy number. And that's to get us to where we want to go. Because right now, we're on track to do a certain number financially. But for us to be profitable, we need to kind of start going up and climbing up the mountain. And it's a pretty aggressive goal that we have. And I have that goal there for a reason, because we're going to be hitting summer number 1. So the HVAC side should be hitting in by itself. The plumbing side will be going by itself to a certain degree. And then with additional marketing and then bringing more people on, we'll continue to be able to get to that number. And that's just basically with the vehicles that we have, which a lot of them are sitting out here not really being productive like they should be. Okay, because every vehicle should be bringing in a certain amount of money. So if we just get all the vehicles that we have currently up and running, which we have to pay for some of them to get fixed and so on, but get them up and running, and everybody in a truck that's supposed to be in a truck making what each truck should make, we should be able to get there with the right amount of calls. To get those calls, we have to have certain things happen. One of them is, for sure, making sure our reputation going forward increases and improves and gets to that at least a 4. Our goal should be 4.5, but right now we're to 3.5 when it comes to Yelp. So 3.5 is not horrible, but when you're looking at a 3.5 or a 4.5, and you're comparing yourself to somebody else in the industry who has a 4.5 Yelp rating, that 4.5 Yelp rating is going to usually get the job over us. Does that make sense?
Oh no, sorry.
Yeah, it's all about reviews.
So reviews now, guys, are huge. I mean, compared to what they ever used to be, more and more people are getting on the internet. They're looking at reviews. They're looking at, how you're doing compared to your competitors. So if we're at 3.5 and they're at 4.5, like I said, mostly they're going to go there. We don't want that to happen. So if we get to 4, and now they're comparing 4 to 4.5, it's not quite as big of a jump, right? So that half a point isn't quite as critical, but we want to try to get at least 4. Our goal has got to be 4.5. So here's the question: how do we get to 4.5 stars on Yelp?
With good reviews and
Ask for people reviews.
Ask for reviews. So that's
my
part of it, but
sorry.
not only asking, what about, we have our iPads, we can all even create an account for a customer if we want to, and say, hey, can you get us a review on Yelp? If they don't have a Yelp account, here, let me help you set one up. And then we talked about this kind of maybe a month and a half ago or something, in the direction we want to go. Because our Yelp hasn't changed at all since I've been here 2 months, all right? So it needs to. It really, really needs to. So if we go into our iPad and we can create an account for them, and the keys that we have to do is, number 1, to make it stick, you want to have a picture. I don't care if it's a picture of a cat, if it's a picture of a dog, if it's a picture of a picture, something, okay? It could be just an initial of their first name, like you can take a screenshot of a Red Sea for Caitlin, for an example, and that can be their picture, and then you just attach that to it. So anybody who's not techie and doesn't understand how to do that, it's really not that hard, but you can come to me and I can show you. It's really, really simple, okay? You can have even if you want to, you can download a few pictures yourself, just random puppies, kitties, fish, it doesn't matter, okay? Have them on your iPad, and you can use those to put on their deal. It doesn't matter if you got 12 different customers that have the same fish on there. It doesn't matter, okay? But have a picture of some sort. It could be flowers, I don't care, you know? A football, some kind of, maybe a sports theme, and a car, maybe maybe a 1957 Chevy picture of a car. It doesn't matter, right? So picture is important to make it stick, and then having at least another review of another company. So all you do is you ask them, do you have a favorite restaurant that you would give good reviews to? Look it up for them. Put that restaurant, have them give that restaurant a review. Number one, have them give us a review and have a picture on there. So that'll get us more reviews. And of course, we want to ask. Why not ask for a 5-star review? I hope I did everything to earn a 5-star review from you today, right? So if you're asking the customer that, most likely they're going to give you that. They may give you 4.5. We're okay with that, right? We're not perfect, but ask for it. So if they don't have one, if they don't have a Yelp account, ask if you can set it up. That's number one. Number two, what's number two? What do we got to have? What are the things we have to have on that review? Picture, any kind of picture. So download pictures. I don't care if it's a car, flowers, cat, dog. What's the next thing?
Another review.
Another review from somebody that they've used. Doesn't matter. A restaurant, their laundry mat. I mean, our laundry, dry cleaner, whatever. Doesn't matter. But get them to do another review. So if you guys are building enough of a relationship with your client inside while you're doing, working with them, to be able to do that, how many do you think you can get a week? Sarah. We'll start with Sarah. If you put the effort in, how many Yelp reviews do you think you can get a week?
Probably 5 at least.
Okay. So 5's a pretty good goal. Who else thinks they can get 5?
I think 3 is pretty average.
Yeah.
You think 3?
But
Okay.
if you're gonna get a good review, you have to back it up with your work.
Yes,
Right.
you do.
You can't be just
You can't
Just
just talk
asking
to
for
them.
a
You can't
good
just ask for a good review and you
review,
haven't
less
done
than
it.
ask for a
estimate.
good review at the end of the job.
Right.
You have to build up the relationship and also back it up with the work.
Right.
So
So Renard, how many can you get?
Probably the same, 3, 5.
Okay. So let's go with a goal. Let's just go down to 3. We'll say that the top person might be able to get 5. All right. Let's just say 3.
I probably won't get 5, but I was
Let's get 3.
shooting for the
you
stars.
probably
So
get
if we can get 3, if we can get 3 per person in just in this room, not even the ones that aren't here right now. I mean, we can get 15 to 20 reviews in a week. Now, 15 to 20 reviews in a week, if we can get 5 stars, that'll bring that 3.5 up by the time we need it. Easy. Okay? That's got to be our goal. We got to get to over 4, between 4 and 4.5 by the time this marketing stuff starts. If we're able to do that, we won't be wasting money. Because keep in mind, when we're throwing money into the marketing plan that we have, they're going to be looking at reviews. And we don't want to be a 3.5 on Yelp. Some may be looking at Google or different things, but we want those that do have Yelp and are Yelp users, we want them to look at a 4.5. Okay? So that's got to be our goal. That's what we have to work on with Yelp. Another thing that's going to happen later, we're not going to do it yet. Let's just start on this one thing, rather than doing more than one at a time and doing them all half-assed. We'll focus on the one. Yelp, Yelp, Yelp. So that's got to be it every day. If you get a Yelp review, I want you guys either text me, let me know, let dispatch know, let somebody know. Okay, I want to celebrate the fact that we're getting 5-star reviews. Okay, those 5-star reviews also will start covering up those lower ones that we have. Okay, so if we have a 1-star review because someone thinks we did this to him or did that to him, or price was too high, whatever the ones that we have in there that are bad, they're older, they're not real new, but it'll start covering those up and bringing them lower to the pile, so to speak. And they'll have to go through some of those 5 stars, a lot more of those 5 stars, and they're only going to look usually at the first page, maybe even go to the second page a little bit, and that's it. They're not going to scroll through all of them, right? But that's our goal, okay? So if we can get 3 per week, starting this week, from every one of you guys, that will help us get where we need to get, okay? It just means more income for everybody because the more calls we have, the more chance for income we have. So let me ask you a question though. In sales, how do we start, what are one of the things that we do to get this in the customer's mind in the beginning of the call? Anybody?
You build the expectation.
Build an expectation or plant the seed. So it's just like anything else. When you plant a seed with somebody, in the sales process, planting seeds is huge. We're going to let them know up front some little part of it, right? So, Sarah, how do you plant seeds? Like if you're walking through a customer's house and you're seeing something, you're not selling it right away. Give me an idea of how you plant a seed.
You know, just asking asking questions and getting answers from them, depending on what I'm trying to plant, you know?
Okay.
Like,
So
Asking for allergens, if they have
Right.
allergens.
allergies, that's planting a seed, right? You're getting information. Okay, so you have to ask questions while you're in with customers. There's all kinds of ways to planting seeds. For an example, if I'm walking in and I see a toilet that's clogged, okay, I'm not just looking at the toilet and what's inside the toilet, now am I? What else am I looking at?
You're looking around the house.
the shower.
Angle stop, I'm looking at the angle stop and supply for sure.
Yeah.
So what if I see a corroded angle stop or an old style angle stop? I may just mention to the customer, oh, you know, you have an old style angle stop. When I turn that off, a lot of times those don't shut all the way off. They don't do this, they don't do that. You see the corrosion around here. And then you leave it alone. You're not selling anything at that point, but you're just mentioning it to the customer. It's planting a seed. So I'm going to talk to you about that later. But right now, then you get back into your main job. Let me get back into this now. All right, I'm going to start on this. I'm going to turn this off. I may have to turn the house water off because of this type of valve. Again, planting the seed, right? And then so your water's going to be off for the whole house for a few minutes. Oh, and I notice I have a gate valve over there. I may have to plant that seed, right? So there's little seeds can be planted based on what you're doing, but there's always a way of planting a seed. So when it comes to a review, how can we plant this seed? He kind of mentioned a little bit the expectation up front. All right? So how do we do it? Somebody help me out here, come on.
You tell them that I'm gonna have to work on that, but I have you just pretty much let the customer know that you're gonna do a 5-star. You're there to do a good job for them. Build up expectation means you put down a mat, you're really clean. You just pretty much telling them that you can ask me as many questions as you want. You can follow me if you like to. Explain the steps or what you're gonna do.
Okay.
And I think the customers, to get them involved in the process, they like that.
Okay, all of that's good, but planting the seed, is there something that we can say to the customer that we're going to, or make a comment? You know, we're looking for 5-star reviews, and the things that help us more than anything else, the thing that I'm gonna ask from you more than anything else
Feedback.
is feedback on my work, right? So you can ask for feedback. Say, you know, I'm gonna do a good job for you, I'm gonna do my best for you today. We look to get, you know, reviews. Do you ask them, do they use it? Do you use Yelp or any other type of review system with anybody else? You can ask the question up front just to find out if they do. That's kind of planting the seed. So then, as we get through the process and get to know them a little bit better, then we can also say, well, if we found out that they don't use Yelp, they're not a Yelp user, let's say for an example. Well, would you mind if maybe at the end of this, because I really want to get a good review from you because it helps us in our business, would you mind if I help you set it up after I do a good job for you today? And then you kind of leave it alone. Then you come back at the end after you've done all those other things, right? You've shown them what kind of worker you are and how clean you are, and you kept them included in the process and all of that. And then you can ask for it, right? So you don't want to necessarily ask for it right up front, but you can mention it and ask a question, kind of lead into it. So that lead into it is what I'm talking about. That's the
I think
seed.
you should start with a compliment. When you're entering a house, you can, if you see a nice car in front of the house, or if you see pictures of grandkids, stuff like that, you start with a, where you're gonna start with, on a right foot instead of like something, you know.
Yeah, there's lots of ways to build relationships with customers and try to come in, you know, things that are in common. If you like cars and they have nice cars, you gotta be careful with it sometimes though. You don't wanna go, oh, nice car, you know, the way you say it could be kind of creepy or kind of wrong, or,
Yeah.
oh, that's a beautiful daughter you have there. You know, you gotta be careful what you say. But the bottom line is there's always ways of planting seeds and asking questions kind of up front, or setting expectations, I guess is what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Because the expectation is we want to get a good review from you today. I'm going to show you, you know, what kind of company we are and how we're going to take care of you. And if you don't mind, once we get to that point, we ask for the review. So, you know, the more you work on getting that type of question in there in the beginning, the easier it'll be when you get towards the end, or, you know, middle to end, when you're talking about, can I set it up for you? So to be able to do that, you guys need to know how to set it up. Does anybody not know how to do Yelp, to set up Yelp?
I've never done.
Okay. So Yelp is basically all you do is you go onto the website, Yelp, create an account, and I'll walk you guys through that again, probably on Wednesday as well, because I didn't actually put it on the board here, but I could go grab that real quick.
Does it let you do many accounts from one
Yeah,
IP address?
you can do it from any IP address you want, it doesn't matter. Mom,
Well,
what's
you can't, I think they see if the review keeps coming from the same
That's what they
IP
were saying.
address.
you think so?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I could check into that, but I have some concerns about that.
Well, we did it before, and I
Okay.
mean, we had people, it worked for us on the iPad, so if it does, I mean,
Yeah, if it's working, if it's worked in the past,
yeah.
they probably haven't changed that.
I mean, again, it's been a couple of years, but that's how we got a lot of reviews.
Well,
So-
the problem from, if I'm just looking at it from Yelp's perspective, is if they keep getting reviews listing different people, different accounts from the same IP address, you know what I mean? It's gotta be, they have to have some sort of filter. So,
Maybe.
so you might have to go on somebody's phone and do it, but we'll find out.
Yeah.
There's a way to find that out.
Yeah, and you know what, and if they're good on the computer, guys, or good on internet, you can have them do it themselves. You say, hey, can you go on to Yelp, and you can just walk them through the process on their own device, that's fine. I mean, maybe, you know, maybe that is a good way to start it, is to go on whatever device they have, computer, laptop, whatever, desktop, laptop, phone, just go on to Yelp and do that. But then, you know, the next thing that we'll be doing is liking us on Facebook, which will come, that'll become later on. Like I said, I'm not gonna do that yet, but that'll be coming later on as we get more into that, because we gotta fix our Facebook page and things down the road as well.
Yeah, I was
But-
gonna bring that up. Facebook is big.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of.
So, and actually, the program that these guys are gonna put in together, they're putting together for us, as, like I said on Friday when I talked to them, they have a way of doing something that I've never done before, but it sounds really, really interesting. The way that they market to our customers, and it's different than anything I've ever seen before in the way that they do it. In a nutshell, just the basics, not getting into detail, is, you know how a lot of people, if you put in information and ask for somebody's email address, right? Because they want information on you. When they put their email address in, a lot of people start blasting emails, and which kind of is like spam, and you kind of, I always click spam when I get to the point where I'm getting annoyed with somebody sending me something all the time, right? Well, these guys do it a little different. They do more of a soft sell in the beginning, get the customer's information. They're giving them something for free, and it's not really services from us, but it's information on how to do this and take care of this. Maybe it's taking care of their water heater to make sure that they get it flushed, and then we're the guys that flush it. They give them free kind of do-it-yourself type of things that are not going to affect us in any major way at all, but they do that 2, 3, 4 times, and then they basically may put something in there the next time that kind of subliminally lets them know that they need to do this, and have a professional do it. Of course, now we're the ones that's, we're attached to that. So there's a lot of subliminal things being sent to them that, and I guess there are companies that use this type of process.
On Facebook or?
No, it's through the web, emails, it's them getting emails. So it's pretty cool. And they have a way of basically it's kind of massaging the customer into things without forcing them, without like just blasting all these specials that we currently have that are getting to the point where they're gonna hit spam.
That's what Facebook does. Facebook's like brainwashing people.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
people watch these videos and
Yeah.
then that's what's in the back of their mind. Like my girlfriend is constantly doing that. She's watching stuff and then that's what we end up doing or something and it's like, well, I know I've been brainwashed into it by her, you know what I mean? But she's low-key getting brainwashed with all the videos that they watch because it's all subliminal stuff.
Right.
And there's like things that's what companies are doing. They're putting a lot of Facebook ads, just like presenting stuff, and if they're catchy, people watch them, they like it.
Yeah.
And subconsciously that's in their mind and they have a plumbing issue, they end up calling that company.
Yeah.
That's like the new generation stuff.
Yeah, it is.
So you're targeting
Totally
it
is.
different.
Especially with millennials. I mean,
Yeah,
it works
millennials.
really well with millennials
Sure.
because millennials, unfortunately, they don't have, they're more techie and they see this stuff and they kind of get it and they're more visual, playing video games and constant stuff like that. Little things pop up on the side and all. I mean, there's all kinds of ways of it working, but it's pretty cool. I was really impressed with their presentation last week. So, but anyway, so Yelp has got to be our focus, guys. Yelp has got to be our focus.
There are probably gonna be some customers who gonna say, oh, I'm not good with computer, blah, blah, blah. Can I get some discount to doing that or something? What should we answer on that one?
Okay, we don't want to be a discount company just giving discounts to do that, guys. We want to be able to show the value by what we do in the place.
Okay, so if he offers like for discount, do that, we don't give discount.
What we should really do is, if we're already giving them a discount for senior or whatever, that's fine. I mean, that's, when it comes up. But what our goal is to be able to show them, we basically want to say something up front, kind of plant that seed, let them know that we do look for reviews because that's how we do our business. That's how our business is going to grow and how we're going to, all do better in the industry. We appreciate that more than anything else, your review. There's a lot of ways you can say it. We really appreciate you giving us a review on Yelp or whatever when we're done because we value that more than anything else,
I
right?
don't think we can offer though, something to get a 5-star, like, we're gonna give you a discount if you give us a 5-star thing.
I'm hoping we don't need to do something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, I think.
That's what we don't wanna get in.
I think you kind of want to earn it.
I'd rather earn it than buy it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and I think the customer will appreciate that more. One of the things that I do, and one of the things that we were trained to do in the 8 steps, if you guys remember that, some of you do, is, in the initial conversation, you want to say to the customer, hey, at the end of this, I'm gonna ask you a question, and I want you to honestly answer the question to me, and it's gonna be on a scale of 1 to 10, how did I perform today? I said, because I'm always trying to improve my game. I'd really appreciate, earning a 10 from you, but if it's an 8, I wanna hear an 8. And, so you're building an expectation up front, so that when you do circle back and the customer says, wow, that was amazing, I would definitely give you a 10, or that was amazing, I'll definitely give you an 8. And then you can always ask, well, can I ask what I could have done to improve this, the service? Was there anything I could do today to get a 10 from you? And then once you get them to that place, well, no, because it's the pricing, then you just, okay, well, maybe I could do something for you, a little extra today, like I can clean that
Change your
shower
bulb.
head or replace an aerator, or something to build the value so that I will earn a 10 from you today. Once you've accomplished that, then you can turn around and say, okay, do you have a Yelp account? Because what I'd like to do is take advantage of their situation right now and let the customer know that, hey, we used to be a Ben Franklin and we lost a lot of our momentum and reviews, etc. And we really weren't pursuing them, and we're trying to get
Brand recognition.
We're trying to get rebrand our company and everything, and if you could help me with that, I'd really appreciate it. And here's what's going on. You can walk them through it. But you're giving them a legit reason that, hey, we're no longer the franchise, we gotta rebrand, we got a whole new website, we're starting over basically, and we really need your help in that, if you don't mind. So give you an idea, how this works, I was in an attic, the other day with Mike on Saturday, as a matter of fact, and, I met a client of mine who, incidentally, I worked with at Saddleback Hospital. He was a physician, and he's an interesting guy. He's very kind of different from most physicians. He's very verbal individual, and the whole time we're in the attic working on the 2 furnaces, and he's got his head in the attic, and he's just chit chatting with me, and he got on the subject. He goes, you guys came up in a conversation, because he realized who I was, and he goes, oh, you're the Kevin, and I said, yeah, I'm the Kevin, and he's like, and he goes, okay, he goes, I got some stories for you, and then he started telling me he was just in a setting where he was having lunch or breakfast with some of his contemporaries. He's a cardiologist over at Saddleback. And incidentally, I used to work there at the same time he was working there. It was kind of weird, 30-some years ago. Anyway, and then he was telling me that somebody said, hey, that Benjamin Franklin, they're too damn expensive and blah, blah, blah. And I had this problem, I had this issue. And he actually came to our defense. He was telling me the story, how he was like, I've had these people, they replaced my furnaces, my air conditioners. He started talking about Sarah. It was like the best plumber he ever met. And she's a girl, and they were.
Put me on Facebook.
Yeah, he was just going and going and going with this, and he goes, and I told the guy, I said, look, what you're complaining about really is the price, and you get what you paid for in this world. And he just, let this guy have it and told him how awesome we were. So, and he was telling me this story, and I was like, whoa, I said, that's really cool, thank you, And it was just a really good situation. He goes, yeah, you guys are unbelievable. He goes, I can't even believe the level of service you get. In that same day, a tenant walks up to me when I'm putting in that coil, and I'm out by the truck by myself. Mike's, away doing some work, and he goes, you the boss man? And I go, yeah. And he goes, I just want you to know I've never received this kind of service anywhere in my life ever before. It's just amazing. He just volunteered that, just walked up to me and said that. He goes, Mike and Ryan, he goes, those are the 2 nicest people. They made me feel so comfortable having them in my house, where most of the time you're uncomfortable with workers in your house and everything else. He goes, they were laughing, they were joking with me, they were explaining everything to me. He goes, I'm just a tenant. He goes, but they treated me like I was special. And he goes, I just want you to know how much I appreciate that. So those guys earned the review. You could call that guy today, and both those guys, and get reviews from them. And in the third call, which we sold some $6,000 worth of stuff, plus it's gonna add up to more. That was a job where we didn't get the install. Somebody else did, and they destroyed it. Like, they messed up their house. And the guy said, he told me, he goes, man, he goes, I know your prices are more and blah, blah, blah. And he goes, because I had put in a system for him at his other property. He goes, but man, I learned my lesson here. He goes, I know you guys are worth it. And he didn't even blink at the price. $6,000, he just signed it. That's to fix the install that he already had done, to fix it. So, I'm just saying.
That's awesome.
And really, and I've been lazy, I'm guilty of the same thing. I didn't ask any of those guys for a review, but I know that we can get on the phone. I know for a fact, Sarah get on the phone and get one from El Bubian. Just because El Bubian just, hey, is that girl still working for you? First thing out of his mouth,
Yeah.
But you leave an impression on people,
Yeah.
and people, people want to rally behind you for whatever, if you give them enough reason, they like to get behind you, and they wanna become supporters. And also, it empowers them to become influencers. And when you allow people into your life to become an influencer, they want to, they wanna, give you a hand up, in life.
And how you get there is by listening to them.
Yeah.
People love for you to listen to their stories. They don't want you to spill out your whole life. They want you to listen.
Oh, yeah.
And like 90% of the people that we go see out there, they're all just very looking for someone to talk to, and God, it's amazing how much information you get. Like Kevin said in the past, you walk in and it's like, Christ, you already know their bank account, you know what's going on, their kids in college and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
All that stuff creates security. They feel comfortable, with the people. And then when you do a good job, boof,
Yeah.
it's a home run.
So anyway, I mean, I felt, very proud as the owner, and I'm noticing by being out in the field more that I'm hearing more and more of this. So I just wanted to support you guys, because I got totally encouraged Saturday by that. It was a great feeling, and really, really pumped me up as a team when we start doing that for people. Just when we start executing like that, it just, people get blown away. And they're not used to that kind of service, they're really not. It's not, like that out there in the real
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
The reality is you get shit for service half the time,
Yeah.
So really important to get there on time, to deliver service from start to finish, but build that expectation up front. Let them know that at the end of the call, we're gonna have a conversation about how I performed. And I'll do anything to get a 10 from you.
Yeah.
And you're not even asking for a review yet, but then you can flip it right there at the end if you'd like, which is, if you feel good about it. And don't ask for a review if they're pissed.
Of course not.
Yeah.
And you'll get a review.
Yeah, you will get a review.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's why, that's why I kind of wait till the end to throw that out there, because I want to get a feel for where they're at. But yeah, I think in the thought too, that if you do call a few customers, like I think if Sarah called Jeff Feiner, she definitely get a review. I mean, he went on and on and on about the stuff he
Oh, you
schooled them
went
on.
to Jeff Feiner's? Oh, man, he's awesome. That guy's
Really cool
great.
guy.
Yeah. Yeah, he's good. He gave me some duck tickets before.
Yeah?
To like some hockey game.
Yeah.
So the only
Super
other
cool
thing
guy.
that I'd like to have you guys do, if you can, when you guys are working on installs, repairs, whatever, we need to get some pictures for our website as well. It's one of the things we don't have much of, and obviously it can't be Ben stuff, so it's all gotta be Kalka, right? So I don't care if it's, if you're with another tech, take a picture of them doing something in an attic, or, on a furnace, or basically we wanna get, make sure your uniforms are looking good. I mean, make sure it looks like a good picture that we can put on a website. So we can get a couple of those from each of you guys, that also help out quite a bit, because we don't really have anything other than we can obviously take some pictures of the trucks out front, the Kalka trucks, but the Ben trucks, until they get wrapped, it doesn't make sense, obviously. But just of us doing work with our uniforms on, just a few things like that, that would be helpful as well.
I think we've got some in our, well, I think anybody who's been here for a amount of time, I've got some in my phone that I could send over.
Yeah, I asked Tina for them, and she's having a hard time finding them at this point, so.
You could, and
You could send
as
us
far
one
as
right now.
installs,
I've got a bunch.
we've got a lot of them on service site. Just, you
Okay.
look at jobs.
Yeah, I could go through the jobs too.
Just pick all the big ticket numbers, and they're gonna have pictures of those installs, so.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, a lot of those pictures are just pictures of like water heaters and furnaces. They don't have like people doing work.
They don't have people in it, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm looking for more, getting Kalka branding type of
Mhm.
thing in there, so, you guys wearing your uniform, you're sitting there with a wrench or whatever, or meter,
Hydrojetting.
hydrojetting, yeah,
The
whatever.
Albuvians with a nice view.
So if you guys have, something like that, you say, hey, this would be a good picture moment, just take them and text them to me. All right, and that way I'll collect as many as I can over the next couple weeks so we can get them in there. Okay? Anything else you got to Kevin?
That's it.
All right, that's it, guys, let's get to work.
I think I got a good one of you, like kneeled down